Here in the PhET website, you can see that there are tons of simulations, so you have to kind of be careful and sort them. So you can see over here on the left, you can check by topic, physics, biology, math, if you want to do it by grade level. And then there's actually some that are translated, which are really cool. I'm just going to show you around in elementary a little bit and look at some of the new ones they've introduced. So again, there's tons of different simulators. You just have to check each one of them out individually. But what I like about some of these, especially the new ones, is one, you'll get, and this wasn't having yet, but you'll get some teacher submitted activities which are really helpful for resources. There's also translations. So if you want to have this activity in Spanish or German or any other kinds of languages, that's really cool that there's translations there. But essentially you just click the play button and it's going to load it up. And for this particular simulation, there's games, so kids use it to answer questions. And there's also an explore, which I think is really an interesting idea, because with a simulator like this, you have to remember that it's giving kids instant feedback. And so when I'm thinking of 10 times 10, right, I can visually see it. I can see it's 100. As I manipulate this, and you could have kids say, what do you notice about when you manipulate the length and the width, right? What happens? They might say things like, well, as the area gets bigger, or as the dimensions get bigger, the area gets bigger. I also love how they have this partial product strategy going on here too, right? So you can have kids mess around with that, and then if they were even doing multiple partial products, right? Like if I was trying to get into some friendly tens here. So there's, I think, different ways you could have kids explore this, and then they even have the partial products. You can enable those there, or just see the products themselves. And then there's area model calculations down here, which are cool, so you can see the distributive property happening here. So I think letting kids go through this and explore and just kind of play with it, and you could prompt them with some questions to say like, hey, what do you notice? Try to build, say, hey, I want you to build 18 times 17, and then tell me, can you use the distributive property to solve it, or how might you use the distributive property to solve it? The cool thing is you can make this even bigger, up to double digit by double digit and triple digit, up to 100 times 100. So you could definitely continue to scale this up. And if you're in the 20 by 20, by the way, you can change to turn the grids off, and then you get base 10 blocks. You've got your hundreds grid here, you got individual ones, and then 10 sticks over here. Just so many cool visualizations for kids. I'm going to erase this and go back, because I think that once kids explore and model some different situations, then you could go into some of these game components where it's like, all right, now that you've explored it, can you actually do the math? And then the last one is just the generic, right, where you can start creating and filling it in and making it what it wants. This is what we call, normally an open array, but definitely recommend checking out PhET and all the exploration that kids can do.